And a happy finally Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for this 15th day of February 2019. Hopefully you celebrated and maybe survived Valentine's Day yesterday. We'll talk more about the remnants of Valentine's coming up here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Eric Granstrom filling in for Dan Kuntz once again. Final day for me. I'm excited about that. And we've got a lot in store for you here this morning, including, of course, your latest local news, what's happening in the government here in Washington, maybe a little bit about what's happening nationally, as it seems like they've worked out a deal to get the continue to keep the government going, as well as a border wall. We'll find out if that actually happens or not, but that's the latest there. We also have some more snow on the way, but not right away. We'll tell you more about that with our forecast coming up. And also later on in the show this morning, we'll be joined by Lisa Bradshaw, who is the creator of the Don't Wait Project. She, of course, hosts a show right here on the NCW Live channel. Lisa will join me in the last half of the show to talk about a busy schedule for her coming up starting today, as a matter of fact. So that's all still to come. Right now, we will take a look at what's happening around the valley with our Valley View cameras, thanks to Localtel Sky-Fi Wireless Network. And first of all, we'll take a look from, this camera is actually on top of downtown Wenatchee, one of our taller buildings downtown, looking down towards Pybus Public Market this morning. Not a lot of train travel happening so far this morning, and not a lot of traffic heading to what Works Gym is right there also. Looks like they've got a few folks that have braved the conditions to come out and work out this morning. It's a warmer morning this morning, much more than where we've been. And some of the salt trucks were out this morning, and some of the roads are slippery and slushy. So be careful as you drive around the valley this morning. That's camera one. Camera two from Localtel Sky-Fi Wireless Network is again up at Apple Annie's, above Apple Annie's on the hillside there, above Cashmere as we look down upon the valley this morning. And again, slick roads throughout north central Washington, Highway 2 there in the foreground. So be careful if you're traveling this morning, and we'll keep you abreast of any closures should we need it as far as the mountain passes are concerned. Camera 3 this morning, we will look down upon the town of Rock Island. You can't really see Rock Island because of that cloud or fog layer this morning, but you can see a couple of the ponds anyway in Rock Island. Going to be a while until we're able to play some golf down in the stretch in the foreground to the bottom of the screen and off to the right on the other side of the road there. Yeah, golf. Wouldn't that be nice? Camera 4 this morning from Sky-Fi Wireless Network. We'll head back up on top of the hill and look down upon the Wenatchee Valley in the distance there and say good morning to the Wenatchee Valley, Wenatchee, East Wenatchee. And to the right of the screen, you see just the tip of the community of Malaga. Good morning to everybody this morning. And good morning to Airport Acres. We have some viewers that are joining us from Airport Acres this morning. So good morning to them as well. As we come back here, and now let's see what's in store for us weather-wise here today. And I got to get my specs on. This is how the show has gone for me. In 2 weeks, I have gone from not needing glasses to needing glasses by the end of 2 weeks of doing this show. Today, there you go, cloudy skies with a 40% chance of snow. The National Weather Service still says to look out for some hazardous weather. That is in regard to the snow. That is in regard to also some slick conditions in the mountains. The snow chance basically this morning hours, might see some partly cloudy skies, maybe even a sunbreak this afternoon. The high today 34, 23 the overnight low tonight. In fact, we're already warmer than that right now. We're at 24 in the Wenatchee Valley. Looking ahead at the weekend forecast as we get through cloudy skies tonight, not much of a chance of precipitation. Tomorrow we're going to see partly cloudy skies, a slight chance of rain or snow, mainly in the morning hours. Might see some sunshine. Actually, no, reverse that. They're going to see some sunshine in the morning and then maybe a chance of snow late in the day on Saturday. 33 for the high Saturday, 22 for the overnight low. And as we get into Sunday, looking at partly cloudy skies, maybe partly sunny. Let's look at the glass half full, shall we? 31 for the high on Sunday. Extended forecast reaching into the next week. We're going to see some mild conditions, but cold temperatures. Back again with highs in the 20s, lows in the teens on Monday and Tuesday. And then maybe a slight chance of snow returning by Wednesday next week. Our official high yesterday for the Wenatchee Valley was 24 degrees. The low 14. Record high for today set 4 years ago in 2015 of 62 degrees. The record low 10 set in 1995. Our sunrise this morning is just a minute away here at 7:06. Sunset tonight at 5:24. And again, we're gaining about 3 minutes of daylight per day. So you can sing a happy dance about that. Go outside in the snow and do the Snoopy happy dance. All right, let's see what's happening in the mountain passes here this morning. Not the greatest, but again, at least they're open. Snoqualmie Pass this morning has a traction requirement. That means change required for the big rigs. Currently snowing at the summit in 26 degrees at Snoqualmie Pass. Again, snow, slush, ice on the roadway. Watch for snow removal equipment in areas of narrow roadway. I don't know if you've seen any of the pictures we've been showing on Snoqualmie Pass, but they've got those snow cliffs on either side of where you drive. You feel like you're kind of going in through a snow tunnel. That's Snoqualmie this morning. US 2 Stevens Pass has a traction advisory with snow and ice on the roadway. Overcast skies there, currently 22 degrees at the summit, so not too bad, although that picture looks a little worse than what it is. Maybe it's a little fog on the screen this morning, but some early morning skiers going to do some shushing up at Stevens Pass. US 97 Blewett Pass this morning has a traction advisory as well with compact snow and ice on the roadway. Currently clear skies there and 18 degrees at the summit of Blewett. So not too bad, but again, the weather warning from the hazardous weather warning from the National Weather Service means that especially higher elevations, you're going to expect some more snow this weekend and some slick driving conditions. So give yourself plenty of time to get to where you need to go. So if you have something to attend in Western Washington, say a meeting coming up in Western Washington, then you need to give yourself maybe an extra hour or so to get there, because better to get there early than get there late and then be scrambling and everything like that. That's a check of your forecast. We're currently, as I mentioned, warm here in the Wenatchee Valley this morning as we're starting off the day with 23 degrees. Again, some of the area's streets are slick, and as a result, the Wenatchee School District has delayed school by 2 hours this morning. That's the only district we have checked in so far this morning as far as any delays or closures. Again, Wenatchee schools 2 hours delayed today so the kids can sleep a little bit longer or make them get up and go out and shovel the new snow we got. They said possibly 7 inches. I think we got maybe 5-6 inches at our house up by the airport. So I don't know what you got in the last 24 hours, but yeah, another morning of prepping the vehicles by getting all that snow off. And please do so. Don't be driving down the road with, just this little hole that you're up by the steering wheel trying to peer through to see what's going on. Make sure, wow, did you see that? That's a big bird that just flew by. But give yourself some time and make sure you have the vehicle cleaned off before you head out on the area roadways. We're going to take a break, come back, get you the latest local news coming up, and also sports news on the way. We'll take a look at some interesting day, obscure holiday, this day in history, birthdays to celebrate. Also, Wake Up Wenatchee Valley continues with Mike McNaughty, and everybody's entitled to his opinion. And the last half of the show, we'll talk with Lisa Bradshaw about her busy schedule coming up with the Don't Wait Project. It's right here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. 8 minutes past the hour. Stay right there. We're going to do news on the way next.
Hello, my name is Nathan Schreiber. I'm a physician here at CVCH. My specialty is family medicine, which is a pretty general specialty where I get to treat all walks of life, newborns, children, women, adults, elderly, everything in between. I have additional training in osteopathic manipulative treatment, OMT for short, where I use my hands to diagnose and treat musculoskeletal conditions which are causing pain and inflammation. I look forward to meeting you and being a part of your healthcare.
Hey everyone, did you know that the NCW Life channel is North Central Washington's go-to source for news? No matter how you prefer to view your news, NCW Life has you covered. Watch the evening news weeknights on TV, stream it, read it at ncwlife.com, or catch the latest news by following us on Facebook. Stay informed with local news, sports, weather, and shows featuring local people and events. NCW Life, a reflection and a spotlight of the communities we call home.
And a good morning to you. 9 minutes past the hour here on this Friday, the 15th of February, 2019. Eric Granstrom filling in for Dan Kuntz one more time around here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Thanks for joining us here this morning. And just a quick note here, Wenatchee schools are delayed by 2 hours this morning. Again, a delay of 2 hours for the Wenatchee School District. No other districts have checked in as far as any delays or closures here for today. Well, speaking of the Wenatchee School District, the Wenatchee School Board has asked for more options, including the idea of having athletes paid to participate in sports before deciding how to deal with a $5.2 million budget deficit. The district's administrative team had given the board scenarios for cutting about $5 million that included eliminating assistant principals, counselors, and a librarian. But the board this week asked for scenarios that could save these positions, including the possibility of deeper cuts in athletics and the possibility of pay to play for sports. The board will likely begin making decisions on cuts at its meeting on February 26th. In a potential win-win for students, school districts can apply to waive missed days because of the recent snowstorms. Several days were missed at Grant County schools as well as in the Waterville and Mansfield districts. Chris Reichdahl, State Superintendent of Public Instruction, says because Governor Jay Inslee declared a state of emergency February 8th, any days missed between then and when he lifts the proclamation are eligible for the waiver. Usually, schools are required to schedule makeup days for weather-related closures, often at the end of the school year. Reichdahl said he expects the emergency to be lifted at midnight tonight. Well, home sales and new home listings in the Wenatchee real estate market are down compared to January of 2018, but the median sale price for a new home is way up. In the latest report from Pacific Appraisal and Associates, total home sales in January were at 50. That's down 11% compared to 2018 at 56. January brought 67 new home listings into the Wenatchee market, a 21% decrease compared to January 2018's mark of 85. Meanwhile, the median price of a home in Wenatchee continues to go up. The median sales price in Wenatchee last month was $324,424. That's a 17% increase over January of last year, where the median price was $276,250. The Wenatchee real estate market includes Wenatchee, East Wenatchee, Malaga, Rock Island, and Arrondo. Well, February has been a busy month for snowplow crews throughout north central Washington. This week, the Chelan County Traffic Safety Crew put together a video of county snowplow clearing roads in the Leavenworth and Plain areas. And we certainly appreciate the work of all the road crews from the state all the way down to the local level for keeping our roadways clear. Shoveling snow is not fun, but it also can be deadly health risk if you're not careful. Sean Ballard with Ballard Ambulance in Wenatchee says there has been an increase in the number of weather-related calls for service.
Every year when we get these snowfalls like we've had the last couple of days, we end up having, at least a couple calls, and we had that happen this weekend. We had a couple people out shoveling snow, ended up getting chest pain, and we ended up taking them in for possible heart attacks. And then we have the normal amount of people out on the ice and fall and do all that stuff.
But the snow shoveling and the heavy exertion, especially during the snowfall and I guess during the freezing temperatures, really combines to make things a little dangerous.
It sets you up, number one, when you go out in the cold, your body senses that it's, it needs to stay warm. So it does that by increasing your blood pressure, increasing your heart rate. So it's already, consuming more oxygen. And then you go out and you start shoveling snow. And what most people don't realize, Steve, is that just shoveling an average snowfall is like jumping on a treadmill and running at full blast.
I know.
Yeah, but you don't feel it as much because it's cold out. And so especially people that have been, sedentary for the whole year, they think, oh, I'm going to go out there and I'm just going to shovel this snow. The average snow, the average, cubic foot of snow for one by one weighs anywhere from 7 to 20 pounds. The stuff we've been having the last couple days, by now is probably about 10 pounds. So if you go out, just take a 20 by 40 driveway, 6 inches of snow, that's 4,000 pounds you go out and shovel.
Thank you, Steve and Sean Ballard, for that report. Keep that in mind as you head out to shovel some of the snow, especially if it gets wet and heavy with the melting that could happen. Well, with freezing temperatures in north central Washington and the Wenatchee Valley, NCW Life's Megan McPherson stopped by Paws and Claws Veterinary Hospital to give us some tips on how to keep our pets safe in this cold weather.
Here with the NCW Life Channel. We are here with Dr. Easton at Paws and Claws Veterinary Hospital. Dr. Easton, with this crazy weather we've been having, it's been really cold and snowy. What are some things that pet owners can do to make sure that their pets stay safe and warm?
Yeah, so things to think about are if you're cold, then your pet is going to be cold too. So not leaving them outside for extended periods of time, making sure that they have somewhere nice and warm to sleep at night. As far as cats go, make sure to, try to keep cats in as much as possible because cats can end up getting stuck places and can get very, very cold, especially at night. Other things to think about are the ice melt out there can be toxic to our pets. So making sure that when they come inside to wipe down their paws and things to try to get off any of that ice melt or anything to make sure that they don't end up with getting sick from that or anything. And then making sure to use a pet safe ice melt as well is also very important. And then another thing to think about is when you go out there to start your car is cats oftentimes will curl up in the engine of cars because it's nice and warm. So, making a loud noise, honking your horn, things like that before you start the car can help save the life of a cat as well.
Okay, good thing to think about. And what is the biggest danger that faces pets this time of year?
Probably, frostbite from being left outside for too long. The areas sensitive to that are like their paws, their ear tips, their tails, their nose, things like that. So making sure not to leave them outside for too long is very important.
So great advice there about the animals. Also, don't forget to keep the water dish clear if you do keep the water dish outside. Maybe when the cold temperatures really hit, it's good to just bring them inside and say, stay. It's 17 minutes past the hour here on a Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. 24 degrees, so much warmer morning than we've had over the past several mornings. And believe it or not, some of that snow is melting, especially on Grant Road when I was coming down to work this morning to come across the bridge. Grant Road, they had evidently put some salt down or some sort of de-icer, and it was breaking up, and it was nasty. We don't have any delays for the Eastmont school districts, but we do have a delay for the Wenatchee school district this morning due to the icy road conditions and such. A 2-hour delay for everybody in the Wenatchee school district. We've got the complete rundown on our Facebook page, so be sure and go there for that. Just search NCW Life on Facebook. You can also contact us if you see something happening and any news breaking. Be sure and contact us here. The multiple ways of doing so. You can call us on our hotline at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. You can also email us directly at news@ncwlife.com. That's news@ncwlife.com. Let us know what might be happening in your neighborhood so we can share that information with the general public and keep everybody on the forefront of that information. We're going to take a break, come back, get you the world of sports coming up next, including basketball and wrestling and swimming. It's all coming up next on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for a Finally Friday.
Hi, I'm Kevin Prosser, and this is my print shop, Color Effects in Cashmere. Color Effects offers screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing on t-shirts, jerseys, bags, banners, signs, and more. With 30 years experience, you won't be disappointed with the quality and quick turnaround times you will get at more than a fair price. Please call Color FX.
When Mike leaves town, it's a little scary. You never know who might be outside. But we feel safer inside knowing our home is being monitored by a local company. I can check our alarm from just about anywhere. So when we get home, I know it's safe.
Protect your family and save money with a local company. Switch your current security monitoring to Guardian Services from LocalTel. Call Guardian Security from LocalTel now or visit localtel.net to learn more.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for this finally Friday, the 15th day of February 2019 at 19 minutes past the hour. Eric Granstrom filling in for Dan Kuntz one more time here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley this morning. Just got a text message here from Lori Pipkin, who's the head coach at Antioch. They were supposed to play their games last night in the 1B district tournament to Ephrata High School, but because of the weather yesterday, they pushed it back to tonight. So all those games that we talked about yesterday as far as the Antioch Tigers are concerned, they will play those today instead at Ephrata High School. Now, also coming up on the sports schedule for tonight, first in the District 4A girls basketball tournament. Eastmont plays at Moses Lake tonight at 6 o'clock. The other game features Eisenhower and Sunnyside at 5. There you see it there. The winners will play tomorrow at 6 o'clock at the higher remaining seed, probably most likely at Sunnyside High School. Good luck to the Eastmont Lady Cats on the road tonight at Moses Lake. We'll be courtside at Wenatchee High School. Wenatchee will host the Moses Lake Chiefs in the first round of the playoffs. Of course, the two teams met a week ago with the Panthers coming out on top, but Moses Lake put up quite a challenge. Grant Olson will join us with a play-by-play beginning shortly before 6 tonight here on the NCW Life Channel. The other game features Davis at West Valley. The winners will face off tomorrow at 6 o'clock for the district championship. Now, if Wenatchee wins and Davis knocks off West Valley, which could happen, Davis has been playing very well lately, the game would be played at Wenatchee High School on Saturday at 6 o'clock. So first things first, Wenatchee and Moses Lake, the Panthers need to win tonight in order to continue on and have a shot at heading to state this weekend. But first, 6 o'clock tonight, again, watch it live here on your home for local sports, the NCW Life Channel. Well, the Cashmere girls have been readying for a crossover game tomorrow at home. The Bulldogs will host Deer Park out of the Northeast A League. That'll be tomorrow at 5 o'clock. The other game features Omak and Medical Lake, also at 5. The winners will go on to regionals next week. The sites and times and dates yet to be determined as far as the regionals. That depends on what happens this weekend. Cashmere boys will have the second game of the doubleheader at Ron Doan Memorial Gymnasium tomorrow. Bulldogs take on Lakeside in the crossover at 6:30. Prior to that, Okanagan starts its game at 5 against Newport. Winners go on to regionals. The losers' season is done. So, Cashmere doubleheader tomorrow. The girls at 5, the boys at 6:30. Today's the day when the District 5-6 2B tournament resumes in Chelan. The Waterville-Mansfield girls play DeSales at 4 o'clock this afternoon in the Chelan Community Gym. The losers' season is over. Lake Roosevelt has a semifinal game against Brewster in the Community Gym at 5. The other semifinal will be in the Chelan High School Gym at 5:30. That features Liberty Bell and Tri-Cities Prep. The 5th place game will be tomorrow morning at 10:30. That'll be in the Community Gym at the same time in the High School Gym. They'll play the 3rd and 4th place game, the championship to be determined on the girls' side at the high school gym starting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. On the boys' side of the District 5-6 2B tournament at Chelan, Manson faces Tri-Cities Prep in a consolation game today at 3:30 in the community gym. Lake Roosevelt takes on Oroville in a semifinal at the high school gym at 7 o'clock. The other semifinal tips it up at 8 o'clock in the community gym, and this is going probably to be a good game tonight. Brewster and Kittitas again for the semifinal at 8 o'clock, and that one again is in the community gym. The MAC Classic starts this morning, 8:30 for the first session of the 3A, 2A, and 1B, 2B schools. The 4A, 1A, and girls matches for the first round will begin at 2 o'clock this afternoon. There's a lot of wrestling they got to get in the next 2 days if they're going to pare down those 32-man brackets for a state classic or the MAC Classic happening at the Tacoma Dome. The state swimming and diving competition and championships also getting underway today with the prelims at the Federal Way Aquatic Center. Last make it local competitors from Wenatchee and Eastmont begin. Well, they have to wait till 6:30 tonight. So we wish the best of luck to all of our athletes participating in state games this weekend. MAC Classic and the swimming. Be sure and follow along on our Facebook page to keep abreast of what's happening with the local athletes as they get their way through. And again, don't forget we have, you know what? I totally forgot to put in my sports today, in the scramble to get ready today, that the Wenatchee Wild are also playing here tonight and tomorrow night. It's the final 2 games of the regular season. They have fan appreciation nights going on. The Hispanic fan appreciation happening tonight and the regular fan appreciation happening tomorrow. 7:05, they'll drop the puck at the Town Toyota Center for the Wenatchee Wild and the Salmon Arm Silverbacks. And here's a challenge for you this weekend. Go up to any of the Salmon Arm guys and ask them why in the world they call them the Silverbacks. I've done a lot of research. I've talked to Art Checker about it. Nobody seems to know why they named a team in Salmon Arm, British Columbia, after a gorilla, Silverbacks. No clue on why that happened, but you might try to find that out this weekend when you head out to the Town Toyota Center. Again, Wenatchee Wild and the Salmon Arm Silverbacks, 7:05 start time, will feature tonight's game next Thursday on Hockey Night, Thursday night here on the NCW Life Channel. So there's a look at sports news at 25 minutes past the hour. For this 15th day of February 2019, our obscure holiday of the day today. I don't know why they waited for today for this one. Maybe they should have had that tomorrow to coincide with Valentine's Day. It's National Singles Awareness Day, and I don't know that there would be another day where singles be aware of the fact that they're single than yesterday. I don't know, it's kind of salt in the wound, isn't it? For those who are unattached and without a significant other, they celebrate this day after Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, of course, celebrating love, romance. I had a bunch of that in the newsroom yesterday where people were just, I don't like Valentine's Day. I said, because you're not in love. If you are between relationships, shall we say, or you have chosen to be without a significant other, then today is your day today. You can get together, a bunch of you. Well, now, how does that work? So you're single, but then you get together with other singles. Ooh, maybe you could spark a relationship. Something like that. You could give each other gifts, is what they're saying. This was come up by, this whole holiday was come up with by I think he was a sophomore at a university. Sophomores at universities typically tend to be single. And so he came up with this day, and it caught on. So it's National Singles Awareness Day today on this 15th of February. And it is every year on the 15th of February. So I make fun, but I go home at night and I thank God that I'm married and have a lovely wife and I don't have to do that whole singles thing. So for everybody who's single and going through that plight, I don't envy you one bit whatsoever. And Megan, by the way, who's running our all the controls here this morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, she happens to be single and available. So if you are interested, then she's about ready to flip the switch and turn the whole thing off right now. But just trying to help, Megan. It's your day today. All right, here we go. This day in history. Yeah, she quickly wanted to get off that subject. It's funny how that works. It was on this date in 1869, Union cavalrymen arrested former Confederate President Jefferson Davis near Irwinville, Georgia. Davis was taken into custody as a suspect in the assassination of U.S. President Abraham Lincoln. Did you know that? Yeah, a little factoid in history. His arrest and 2-year imprisonment at Fort Monroe, Virginia, raised significant questions about the political course of the Reconstruction movement. A debate over Davis's fate tended to divide between those who favored a severe punishment for the former Confederate political leaders and those who favored a more conciliatory approach. When investigators failed to establish a link between Davis and the Lincoln assassins, U.S. government charged him instead with treason. U.S. President Andrew Johnson's impeachment hearings delayed the trial, however, and in the end of the government granted Davis amnesty. He actually got out of jail on this date back in 1869, Jefferson Davis. You think the government is crazy now? You should read some history, folks, and think and see what was going on back then. Yeah, Trump got nothing on what was going on back when the North and South didn't get along. It was on this date in 1922. His first name, everybody knows him as Marconi, the guy who invented radio, right? Do you know his first name? It's Guillermo. I didn't know that until today. I was doing the research. 1922, today, Marconi began the regular broadcast transmission from Essex, the inventor of radio. Marconi, also an entrepreneur, businessman, and founder of the Wireless Telegraph and Signal Company. So yeah, he invented the radio and then came up with a way to charge people for being on the radio. Advertising. Marconi began his long run of broadcasting through radio airwaves on this date in 1922. It was on this date in 1933, a deranged unemployed bricklayer named Joe Zangara shouts, "Too many people are starving," and fired a gun at the president-elect Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Let's take a look.
Mr. Mayor, my friends of Miami, I am not a stranger here because for a good many years I used to come down here. I haven't been here for 7 years, but on my coming back I have firmly resolved not to make it the last. time.
The President-elect finishes his impromptu talk and prepares to drive on to the railway station when the startled onlookers suddenly realize what has happened. Pandemonium reigns, and the crowd, led by American legionnaires in their glistening helmets, counts assassin Zangara. William Sinnott, one of the injured, makes his way out of the crowd on the left. Mayor Cermak, critically wounded, is carried to Mr. Roosevelt's car. Resting in the arms of the President-elect, he is rushed to a hospital. They've got him. The Secret Service men load him on the rear of the car and hustle him away to jail. And now, the heroine, the woman whose courage all the world applauds. She probably saved Mr. Roosevelt's life by deflecting the assassin's aim. Mrs. W.F. Cross of Miami.
Like a crazy man. My first thought was to get it. I knew he was shooting at the president, so my first thought was to get the pistol up in the air so he wouldn't hurt any of the bystanders.
There you see it. Zangara was sentenced to 80 years in prison. The mayor of Chicago, Anton Cermak, succumbed to his wound. He died from that shooting. 5 shots, 5 people injured on this date in Miami. A little factoid in history that's often kind of overlooked on this date in 1933. All right, birthdays for this 15th of February. Let's start it off here with the birthday of Susan B. Anthony. Well, you kind of see a little bit of the squish there of her image as well as the dollar coin that was eventually Susan B. Anthony, born on this date in 1820. Of course, American social reformer, women's rights activist who played a pivotal role in the women's suffrage movement. Born into a Quaker family committed to social equality, she collected anti-slavery petitions at the age of 17. So kids, it's never too early to start believing in what and really getting behind what you believe in. 1856, she became the New York State agent for the American Anti-Slavery Society. 1851, she met Elizabeth Cady Stanton, who became her lifelong friend and co-worker in social reform activities, primarily in the field of women's rights. In 1852, they founded the New York Women's State Temperance Society after Anthony was prevented from speaking at a temperance conference because she was a woman. She didn't like that. And so she started marching and making a huge difference. She collected, in the anti-slavery movement, now think of this, this is in the 1800s, she collected 200,000 signatures on a petition to abolish slavery. How about that? Celebrating, well, she's long passed, but her birthday, marked today. Susan B. Anthony was born on this date in 1820. Another guy that was born on this date in 1884, Alfred Carlton Gilbert. Probably never heard of him, unless you really, really like toys. I'll tell you why in a moment. American athlete, inventor, businessman. He attended my alma mater, as a matter of fact, at Pacific University in Forest Grove, Oregon. He went on to Yale to finance his education as a magician, believe it or not. He earned a degree in sports medicine, which was something back in that day in the early 1900s you never really thought about. He broke the world record for consecutive chin-ups in 1900. He did 39 consecutive chin-ups. That was a lot back then. He invented the pole vault box. He also tied for the gold medal in the 1908 Olympics. He's probably best known for this toy. I don't know if you can see it very well there, but the erector set. That's right. Gilbert, Alfred Carlton Gilbert, born on this date in 1884, the inventor of the erector set. Also a birthday today. He's still around with us, and boy, has he made a big difference in our culture. Some say for good, some say not so good. Matt Groening, 65 today, American cartoonist, writer, producer, animator, voice actor, creator of the comic strip Life in Hell, also the television series The Simpsons. By the way, Simpsons, the longest running U.S. primetime television series in the history of television in the United States, the longest-running U.S. animated series and sitcom. By the way, did you know Matt Groening was born in Portland and attended Evergreen State College? The guy who came up with The Simpsons way back in the day, celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday to Matt Groening, who is 65 today. If you know of a birthday, you can send it to us via our Facebook page or our email, news@ncwlife.com. We have 35 minutes past the hour. We need to get to Mike Magnotti and his opinion. Also, we will be joined by Lisa Bradshaw for the last half of the program to talk about her very busy schedule in the her project, the Don't Wait Project. And also, of course, we'll talk a little bit about her show as well here, Life with Lisa on the NCW Life channel. It's all coming up straight ahead. Don't go away.
Antique Mall at Cashmere wishes you a happy and prosperous new year. With 15,000 square feet to explore, Antique Mall at Cashmere has something for everyone. For repurposing projects, do-it-yourselfers, and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, this is the place to find your next project. Antique Mall at Cashmere, their friendly staff is here to help you. Stop on by today.
Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
Put winter weather in its place with a new Cub Cadet snow thrower from Rose Tractor. Hi, this is Corey. Let us help you get through the season with our line of Cub Cadet snow throwers. When it comes to snow, never let winter weather get in your way. The Cub Cadet X Series line of snow throwers offers 3 levels of snow clearing power and a host of award-winning models. Get ahead of the snow. Let us help you get into the right snow thrower for the job. Rose Tractor, family owned and operated, located at the corner of 3rd and Rock Island Road in East Wenatchee.
What's your auto mocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely the espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull.
Hey, this is Mike, Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, recently at a vacation house we were renting, my grandson, he broke a lamp. Well, it was an expensive lamp. I had to pay $100 to replace the doggone thing. I figured, well, no big deal, stuff happens. But then I realized the huge difference in reaction I would have had if my son Tony had broken the lamp. Had Tony been the culprit, I would have been angry and upset. A much different emotional reaction than I had when it was my grandson. But it's not that I love my grandson more than I do my son. They're both great human beings. And maybe I'm just older, and sometimes that just explains the varying emotional reactions I have to my grandkids opposed to those I felt with my kids. But whatever it is, grandkids are just different than your kids. Yeah, they are. This is Mike, Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Hi, Justin here, owner of Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere. Club Crow is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Looking for a fun night out? Join us at Club Crow Saturday nights. We have live bands to rock the night away. Club Crow is bringing comedy to Cashmere. Check out our Facebook page for upcoming dates. Live jam session first Sunday of every month. Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
There's no substitute for the power of cable TV advertising. With Solion Cable TV Advertising, you can reach your target audience right here in North Central Washington. We understand their viewing habits and can precisely target your customers on great cable networks like these. Call Solion Broadcasting today and let us show you how to put your business message right in front of thousands of prospects at a very affordable price. Solion Broadcasting, 509-888-2020.
I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, and this is Guada TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
It's a finally Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, the 15th of February 2019. I almost did the 18. It's like the checks. Haven't quite figured that one out yet. As we mentioned earlier this morning, we are blessed with the opportunity to talk to Lisa Bradshaw, the Don't Wink Project. Of course, Life with Lisa here on the NCW Live channel. Hi.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here.
It's always fun to be on the
I don't know how you fit this in this morning with everything you have going on right now.
Well, it's just I'm working on the exhibit at Pybus, so it's not far away, and then I'll go back and finish it up.
Let's talk about that first.
Okay.
As you're kicking off, right?
Mm-hmm,
Tell us about
tour.
Oh, this is so much to talk about. I don't know if we're going to have time to get it all in.
Okay, so we'll start with the exhibit then.
Okay, yes.
So I've done a few exhibits at Pybus. They're very good to me. They let me put displays up there a few times a year, and this one is all of the stories, parts of all of the stories from the 2018 tour I did last spring. So there are panels that are, printed on foam board, and I wrote out the stories and pictures from all the different states. And there's also a camera or TV there that streams a video about the tour with some highlights from it. So we're using that to kick off the tour that starts in March, a Southern tour, 13 states, that starts in Texas.
Which is, I know, all inclusive as far as your entire life is concerned lately to get ready for that.
Yeah, it's about a 6-week tour, but it takes pretty much all year to plan.
Yeah.
I did it last year, and I'm glad I did. I took a smaller camper that was basically just a glamorous tent with a kitchen on the back, no bathroom inside, couldn't stand up, it was just a very small teardrop. And Town Toyota sponsored the whole trip, which was fantastic, and I traveled 7 western states. And then pretty much as soon as I got back, they said we could do another one. And this time Toyota National matched their budget, so I get to take a director of photography with me. So it'll be
nice.
So much, just a whole different type of storytelling, right? I can't be in front of and behind the camera, and he's a professional. He's an award-winning documentary filmmaker. So he'll get his own camper and car.
Now, how did you find him?
I asked pretty much everyone I know in that industry, and he was referred, highly recommended. I've never met him, but we've been planning this for about 6 months.
Sure.
So Toyota is sending my wrapped car and a vehicle for him out to Texas, and then this time New Camp RV, the manufacturer of the camper I had last time, they're kicking in 2 campers.
That's incredible.
So yeah, I'm just so grateful that it's grown to this point, and I think I've got one more in me after this. We'll see.
So what's great about this is the photojournalism you're doing, the video journalism that you're doing, that we got the benefit of with your program here on the NCW Live channel last year. What is the ultimate goal with this? I mean, this is almost documentary. You say you have a documentary guide there, so why not make a documentary out of this?
That's the long-term intention, and also my 3rd book. So I will take a compilation of not just the stories, but the journey itself. So last time, you remember, I was actually editing and producing the show from the road, which is like 15 hours of work and Wi-Fi and all of that. I'm not doing that this time. We will focus a lot on social media, interaction throughout, as it's happening. And I will blog this time. I'll actually have time for that. So it's kind of a good mix, because now I'll be creating archives for the next exhibit, and also really trying to organize that content for when I produce the show when I get back. So when I get back, I'll do it every week.
There's really 2 stories there. There's your story of this journey, but then there's also the stories that you're going to get along the way.
Exactly. And originally I thought, I'll go all 50 states, and I don't know that that's really necessary to get the representation of the entire country.
Right.
So like I said, I'll go these 13 states, and then I'll probably do one more next spring that takes me, maybe it begins in Chicago or something and takes me all the way to New York City, something like that.
Now, I know your producer for the show on NCW Life, Rachel Mendelis, is going to be down there with you today at Pybus for this kickoff to film.
Right.
So tell us, can you tease that a little bit?
Yeah, I just invite everyone to come down. The exhibit will be on display through March 6th, and I actually leave for the tour a few days after that, and the actual tour kicks off March 25th from Texas. So my thought was just invite people to come down between 5 and 7, see the display, meet some of the people who were part of it, and also I'll have Haley Van Lith, our prized basketball player, on the show. She'll be bringing her story, and then a couple of other people that are just, I feel like in our community living don't wait kind of lives, and interview them and just kind of take the audience on a tour of the exhibit from the camera point of view.
Okay, that's happening on Pybus Public Market. We're going to take a break on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, come back and talk about this tour and the southern stretch that's coming up for Lisa Bradshaw here on the Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellington here from Live It Up. In the investment world, ROI stands for Return on Investment. Well, how does better health, better wealth, and better relationships sound for ROI? Join us every week right here on NCW Life and learn how to invest in the most important asset, you.
We're going to answer your questions and provide some weekly inspiration so you can create a life that you love. Join us on Live It Up.
If you're stuck trying to find the perfect beer for you, look no further than Badger Mountain Brewing. We specialize in creating tantalizing craft beers that will soothe any picky taste buds and will satisfy your cravings. Check out everything from our amazing honey blonde that will appease even the most finicky taster, or a delicious frothy stout for dark beer lovers. Experience them all at Badger Mountain Brewing.
Thanks to the help I received at Goodwill,
I have a job. I'm working now. Thanks to Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill. Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Goodwill's Employment Connection Center is a free walk-in job search assistance program designed to get you back to work. When you donate to or shop at Goodwill, you're really helping people find work.
Thank you.
Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
As we work our way through a finally Friday morning here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, Eric Granstrom filling in for Dan Kuntz. Final day for me filling in. Thanks, Dan, for coming back, hopefully on Monday. Lisa Bradshaw is here talking about the Don't Wait Project and your exciting tour that's coming up in March. How many, month, 2 months? How long are you going to take?
So I leave March 25th from Texas, and I return to Texas around March 8th or so. I mean, May 8th. So
Okay.
about 6 weeks again. My camper's completely different this time. I get a bathroom and a kitchen inside. I get to stand up, and I have a table and a bed. It was really good to have gone on the first time because now I know.
And you have perspective now.
And Tanner Schnick, he's the director of photography going with me, and we've had meetings by phone and things leading up to it. And he'd say, how about this? And I'm like, oh, I already know that doesn't work. Let's try this. So to have that information and to have been able to do that close to home and surrounded by people I knew in those states, it was a good way to have a learn about it.
I guess I'm assuming a lot, and I've learned this in my life, so you can never assume anything. We probably have people that are watching right now, and I apologize to you for not introducing her properly. Let's talk really briefly the Don't Wait Project. What is it?
It's a nonprofit that I founded in 2011, and it came about when I was writing my second book, Big Shoes. It was largely based on the loss of my husband. He passed away at 35, and I was a widowed single mother at 32. And so I struggled for a long time with grief, probably about 7 good years of really kind of trying to figure out who I was and get moving in my life again. And the Don't Wait Project came because I wrote a pretty sad, difficult book, and I wanted to give something to the reader to think about when they close the book beyond just this difficult story. And so it just gets people thinking about their own don't waits, and we can learn that through storytelling. I believe in storytelling. I have made a career out of it, and so really it's become that vehicle of storytelling. We have some other programs, the anti-bullying program we do here in our community and throughout the country, and all types of things, but that's where this lands.
And what's great about this tour that you have coming up, like last year and then some, you're going to get the stories, inspirational stories from others. And I wondered if you knew of people you're going to stop and talk to already. Can you tease some of those stories?
So my goal is always to have a story, a big story in each state. And then, like last time, I ended up interviewing people who were camping right next to me, or that I met at the Grand Canyon or whatever. And so we're kicking it off with a story that I actually found on Facebook a couple of years ago. And this young girl, Hallie, was on my show, and she's this incredible little girl who had a blood disorder and was doing marrow drives for 9 years trying to find a match, but also help other people find a match. And she found her match last fall. And I actually was speaking with her mother today, and we're planning everything. And that's our kickoff story. And she is doing really well. She's had her transplant. And along the tour, I get to interview people who found matches through her drives. So someone in Atlanta and things like that. And then April is a big awareness month for organ donation. And my husband passed away after receiving a double lung transplant at University of Alabama, and they are welcoming me to their annual donor picnic. It brings about 2,000 people. And so I'll get to interview people who will be introduced to perhaps someone who has their loved one's heart, or who have given, any other part of their body and that gift of life. So I'll be returning. I have 2 speaking engagements there, a lot about patient advocacy and that sort of thing. And I've still, the physician that worked on my husband's case is a board member of the Don't Wait Project. So we'll do some things together too.
That's incredible. So speaking of, I don't want to let you go without talking about your speaking engagement coming up here in the Valley.
I know.
Busy gal.
It's been a little bit busy the last couple months, but I'm grateful that I was selected to give a TED Talk. The TEDx Wenatchee is happening this coming Wednesday on the 20th, and I know that the actual location at the college is full, but they have satellite live streaming locations throughout the community. So yeah, it's different. I've spoken in front of large groups before, and I've had my radio and television show, but this is something completely different.
Yeah, it's different when they're looking to you for something. And is that how it feels?
It feels I have this heightened sense of responsibility.
Yeah.
I've always felt that if lending my story helps other people better tell their own, then that's kind of why I'm on the planet, part of why I'm on the planet. Mm-hmm. But this is more of wanting to make sure that I respect the guidelines that the TEDx Wenatchee folks have put for the speakers, and that I also honor the people that I'm talking about in my talk, that I get everything right, and that I get it done in 18 minutes. And that there's a theme, and there's all these things that go into it, and I have been working on it. If you are driving down the road and see me talking to myself,
then you'll know why.
I'm like, thank goodness for Bluetooth, because nobody really realizes that I'm talking to myself. They can think I'm talking to my car, but so I'm constantly working on it, and I will be right up until.
Well, just remember, there's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end.
Right.
That's all you need to remember.
Once I figured that part out, I've been feeling better, because I worked with a friend who's given 2 TED Talks, and he and I went over it together. He goes, you do realize that this outline you provided is really 3 talks. So pick one. And I'm like, oh goodness.
God.
So then you got to just pare it down and figure out, really hone the message. And I think that that's what a TED Talk, I can stand up on stage and share my story, and that's something I've done before. But to really know, you have to know what the message is if you expect the audience to get what your message is.
Right.
So
that is a durational TEDx on Wednesday.
Correct.
It's several hours, right?
12 to 5.
Yeah.
Yes,
so,
and they'll have, I think it's 21 speakers and
Right.
3 breaks. And
Now,
yeah.
I know you can search, just do TEDx Wenatchee on a
They have
search.
a Facebook page and there's a
page for that.
website, and you can get more information.
Okay.
I know that they're doing a viewing at Pybus and the library and other places.
Don't forget, she'll be at Pybus, speaking of, starting tonight, 5 o'clock, right?
5 to 7,
Okay.
drop by. The exhibit will be there for 3 weeks, but if
But
you
they
want to
get to
come
see
in and
you.
well, yeah, and see some of the people who have participated in the exhibit, and yeah, I think it's.
And we can't wait to see the results of your tour. We know it's going to be fantastic. And we're going to be trying to reach out and touch you via
Yes,
Skype or something
Dan
like that.
and I
too.
are going. We're going to set a day this time
Okay.
that's when we do it each time.
Awesome.
and-
Where is Lisa today?
Right.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
get the map out.
Don't Wait Project, where do we find it?
Don'tWaitProject.org, Facebook and Instagram.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's all happening right now.
Well,
I appreciate your support.
I don't know if it sounds weird, but I'm so proud of you
Oh, thank
for what
you.
you've done and the difference you're making.
Thank you.
By taking your life story and sharing that with others, and then taking that and rolling and rolling and rolling. Keep up the good work.
Well, thank you. And I thank you all here for giving me a platform, the television show, and most definitely I thank Town Toyota for their support with the tour. And, to get to do this for a living is a dream come true. And I just have daily gratitude for that.
Lisa Bradshaw, it's the Life with Lisa show here on the NCW Life channel. As they say, check your local listings. We're going to take a break, come back, wrap it up here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for a Friday right after this.
This is State Representative Kerry Condata inviting you to watch our new and improved 12th District 2.0 show. Now featuring more information on federal, state, and local issues in a leaner, faster format. Guest hosts John Wise and Shiloh Shower bring it all home with yours truly, Kerry Condata. Why do we call it 2.0? Because just like me, it's the stronger, faster, and lighter version of today's politics. Also available on demand at ncwlife.com.
How much are you paying for adult, family, or assisted living? Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living offers one-bedroom apartments for one affordable price. Their rates are all-inclusive, no nickel or diming or sudden increases, just one set price. You or your loved one will receive good food and excellent care in a relaxed, home-like environment. Stop on by for a tour to see if the Epladolin family is the right choice for you.
Family owned and operated Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living in Kashmir. Affordable care.
Highlander Golf Course is proud to announce their 2 new state-of-the-art full-swing golf simulators with over 80 courses of virtual golf to choose from year-round. Or try their Laser Shot simulated firearm program, or gaming with football, basketball, and much more. Enjoy Highlander food and drink service from their full-service bar and grill in the comfort of their simulator room. Call the Highlander Pro Shop to book your time at 884-4653. That's 884-4653. Anna, welcome back. Hi. Wasn't quite ready for that. A couple of minutes left of the show here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Thanks again to Lisa Bradshaw for joining us here this morning, and thank you for putting up with me for the last couple of weeks. Dan Kuntz will be back to host this program back on Monday, and then I'll be filling in for Grant doing the news on Monday. So these long shifts for me just aren't over yet. Let's see what's in store for us weather-wise today. In the National Weather Service forecast, they say a 40% chance of snow. There is still that hazardous weather condition outlook from the National Weather Service due to the snow. 34 are expected high today. The roads are kind of a mess this morning. We did get a little bit of a meltdown that happened. That created some slick conditions. And as of right now, the only one I know of is Wenatchee School District delayed by 2 hours today. As we look ahead at the extended forecast, we'll see cloudy skies overnight tonight. Tomorrow, partly sunny in the morning. Chance of snow later in the day tomorrow. Not a lot expected. 33 for the high on Saturday. We'll see lows in the 20s Saturday nights. Partly cloudy day on Sunday. And then we're going to cool off again as we head into next week with highs in the 20s. Nighttime lows getting down into the teens again. Let's quickly look at what's happening up the mountain passes here this morning. According to the Department of Transportation, traction tires required. Yeah, tires required, you'd think. On Snoqualmie Pass with snow and ice on the roadway, currently snowing and 26 degrees at Snoqualmie. Stevens Pass this morning has a traction advisory as well with snow and ice on the roadway, currently snowing and 23 degrees at Stevens. Blewett Pass traction advisory with compact snow and ice, overcast skies, and 20 degrees. That's going to do it for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for today and this week. We'll see you back here again. Well, Dan will see you back here again on Monday. To you and yours, have a great one. See ya.